welcome to our new series and podcast, Transformers Through the Ages. I'm your host, the Friendly Android, and with me today is one of my very close friends, as well as Bumblebee's #1 fan, the Flaming Starcatcher. Say hello.
Hello, everybody. It is very nice to meet y'all.
Alright, so today we're going to start at the very beginning with Generation 1, Episode 1, the three-parter. We're going to start with the first part today. And so, it opens with narration over a rather interesting-looking metal planet, which we learn is Cybertron. So, this expositional phase fades in and out until we get down on the planet's surface, where we meet our very first Transformer, Wheeljack, and...
Wheeljack.
and Bumblebee.
Of course, I love Bumblebee. He's the cutest thing in the universe. Get it?
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Anyhow, the narrator explains to us that the Autobots are in desperate need of energy since a civil war has ravaged their home planet. So, some things to notice during this sequence is the Cybertronian modes, which are very interesting, and we really don't see them much again, except a little later we do see some more Tetrajets, which are the Seekers' Cybertronian modes. So, anything you noticed particularly about the Cybertronian modes that you liked or didn't like?
I think they should be appearing more in the episodes upcoming. I think it's very important to introduce other characters as well, and not just the main enemies and the protagonist.
Well said there. And the next thing we see is, of course, Iacon, which is, as some of you may know, is the capital of Cybertron, and that is where the Autobots are holed up and getting ready to start the launch of the Ark, which is the name of their starship. So they're going on what they're calling a search mission, but, as we soon see, Soundwave is spying, as he usually is. He is disguised as a lamppost, which is a little odd to me, personally, that he would not be something else, as later he's gotten quite a few different alt modes, but a lamppost was his first, so there's something to think about. And so the Decepticons are preparing to go on a search mission of their own, with their own starship, the Nemesis. And this next scene, we have a bit of the age-old bit between Megatron and Starscream, which, as we will come to see, is a frequent thing. And as my friend here pointed out, they do act quite a bit like brothers throughout the series.
It's very relatable to all sibling relationships. If you have a sibling, please watch those two relationships. You will get a catch out of their relationship. Each one bickering with each other and insulting one another is true classic brother relationship.
Indeed. And so, meanwhile, during this, the Autobots are getting ready to launch, and as we'll find out later, this wasn't in the episode, so spoilers for Season 2 if you haven't seen this, the female Autobots get left behind. As disappointing as this is to all of us female fans of the Transformers, because they are very interesting characters, but we'll talk about them later when we get to the search for Alpha Trion. Another person who stays behind is Shockwave, and despite many opinions I have about Shockwave, I'm not going to get into that right now. He's an interesting character who has a very deep history. Next, we go straight to the what do you call it? The launch, that's what it is. We go straight to the launch, and they're heading straight for 2 asteroids that are about to collide. What are the odds? Anyway, so they're all getting stuck in this, and apparently the Decepticons didn't have a plan for this, and so they're just following the Autobots as they use their giant laser to cut through the asteroids.
Yep.
This ends up with the Decepticons boarding the Ark, and a big fight breaks out, in which it's pretty clear that the Autobots are losing, until the G-forces of planet Earth pull them in, and they crash, knocking everyone into emergency stasis lock. Then 4 million years pass, and nothing of interest happens during those 4 million years, apparently, except...
Well, practically nothing. 4 million years later is a long time to wait.
Yes, and then what I believe is supposed to be Mount St. Helen erupts, waking up Teletran 1, who proceeds to repair the Decepticons. the Autobot computer repairs the Decepticons. Go figure. Anyway, as soon as the Decepticons are repaired, they immediately leave rather than dealing with the Autobots that are just lying around. And for some reason, they know that 4 million years has passed, and I don't know how they would know that. They've been asleep the whole time. And Skywarp is also confused as to whether or not Cybertron still exists.
This is how confusing and stupid the Decepticons are.
Decepticons.
Yes, right.
Anyway, they immediately leave and begin trying to build a space cruiser in the middle of the desert. And they think they will accomplish this goal by destroying a power plant for some reason, which they do. And meanwhile, the Autobots have woken up and have been repaired and are trying to figure out what in the world just happened. So Prime sends Hound and Cliffjumper out to find the Decepticons. And, well, they do very quickly. And they overhear Megatron talking about his plan to use the Earth's resources to refuel Cybertron. Cliffjumper is not happy about this, and so he immediately pulls out his ginormous bazooka from nowhere and attempts to shoot Megatron. He fails, and they are chased back by Laserbeak, who is disguised as a bird. A giant metal bird. That's not suspicious at all. Anyhow, they proceed to split up, but it's no good because Laserbeak can detach his gun, and they both start running away. Cliff gets away with his glass gas, and Hound falls off a cliff. Any notes on the episode so far, Starcatcher?
Well, for me, this episode is getting more and more twisted. The plot thickens between the protagonist and the antagonist.
Alright, yes indeed. As much of a plot as you can expect out of an 80s cartoon, I guess.
These were the old days.
Indeed. Well, the Ratchet, Cliffjumper, and someone named Hauler, who is never seen again, come to check on Hound and get him back to base. Meanwhile, Reflector and Thundercracker have been set on patrol duty because they didn't think to set a patrol earlier, and they spot a human vehicle coming to check out the power plant that they recently destroyed. Thundercracker reports to Soundwave, and Ravage is released to attack the helpless humans. They get away, fortunately. Anyway, back at Autobase, Hound reports to Prime about the Decepticons' plan, and they initiate a battle unit, which apparently consists of almost everybody. And then Jazz says one of the greatest lines that I've ever heard. Autobots, start your engines.
It's pretty ironic, isn't it, you guys?
I mean, is that a thing on Cybertron 2? Is racing a thing? I hope so. That'd be cool. Next, what happens is Laserbeak has found an oil platform, which has a lot of human workers, two of which we will come to know very well, Spike and Sparkplug. They were all working on the oil platform when all of a sudden these giant robots attack. So what do? Well, they start throwing small bits of metal at them.
It didn't work, you guys.
Nope. Most of them ended up in the water. However, Rumble takes special interest in Sparkplug and throws him up against a wall, prompting Spike to try to attack him. He punches him. This didn't do anything. I wonder why. And he gets thrown into the water. Promptly thereafter, Sparkplug kicks Rumble in what would be the gut for a human, and then dives off the platform to try to save his son. They get stuck in some metal rigging somehow. Anywho, then we get to see one of the more interesting Decepticon weapons, which would be Starscream's Null Ray. What this does is a mystery to me, because it seems that it deactivates some things and reactivates and fixes others. You'll see more of this mystery as we go through the series. And then they begin loading the energy into Energon cubes, which is basically multicolored light within a clear cube. Yeah. Energon, everybody. Does a body good. Okay. So, also, a thing that is kind of confusing to me is the Autobots fly in these episodes. So they fly out to the oil platform. They don't really fly much after the three-parter, though, so... Can or cannot Autobots fly? The question of the day. If you know the answer, please leave it in the comments below. Anyhow, the Autobots arrive, and a fight breaks out. There's gunfire going everywhere, and somehow Wheeljack and Rumble have ended up on top of the scaffolding. I don't know how that happened, they just got there. But anyway, Prime and Megatron go at it again, and Megatron seems to be very entitled to the universe.
Indeed. He loves the universe, especially claiming the universe. You will find him going on multiple rampages of him claiming the universe in the future episodes.
Yes, indeed. Well, the Decepticons escape by flying. The Autobots didn't just fly after them, since they flew there is beyond me. But they are attempting to save humans, so I guess it's a duty thing. And so they escape with the Energon and leave a big flaming fire around the oil platform. Then we see where Spark and Sparkplug got caught in this metal rigging. Prime attempts to save them, but states that it is too heavy as the episode ends with the oil platform up in smoke. So, what did we learn from this episode?
That this episode ends in a classic cliffhanger.
Unfortunately, we will go right into the next part next week. Thank you for tuning in to Transformers Through the Ages. I've been your host, Friendly Android, and...
Flaming Starcatcher.
The Flaming Starcatcher, ladies and gentlemen. Catch us next week for episode 2. Well, until next time, Fandroids, build happy and stay superior.